Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant and snowy afternoon. Here we are. This is what I woke up to this morning, and we've got about, it's only about 5 or 6 inches of snow come down, but it's that wet, heavy stuff. It's about 0 degrees. It's going down to -1 over the weekend, and we're actually going into a bit of a cold snap, so it was really important to get this snow cleared up, because I'll tell you, when you hit a flash freeze, if you don't get it done, or if there's lumps and bumps and tracks and all that kind, it'll get frozen in, and it'll be there for the entire winter. But I got another little surprise this morning. I got a message from the snowplow driver who's going to come and do my driveway, and told me that I've got a tree down. So I went down, took a little look, and come on, take a look. It's the worst kind of tree that you can possibly imagine to have fall. Okie dokie, here we go. Anyway, it is going to be a wild and woolly weekend. This is the weather for the entire weekend. Maybe Sunday we're going to get another 4 or 5 inches of snow come down. And look at this crazy dog, she just loves the snow. Oh, by the way, on another note, the last puppy has sold, and that went this morning from a sign at the end of my driveway, and very pleased about that. That is a weight off my mind. And of course now you can see the problem with solar in Canada in winter time. Grey day like this, I'm probably only picking up 30% of the sun's energy, and so yes, not very good at all. But I'll tell you one thing, it sure is pretty. That old piece of metal sticking up in the air there in the background, that was a wind turbine up there. It never worked properly. The blades kept breaking on it. They would vibrate. There's a certain pitch from the wind, and they start shaking, and they fall right off, and that's not the first time I've heard that. So we're going to endeavour not to kill ourselves this afternoon. Like I say, this is a very dangerous kind of tree. It's hung up, and so it means basically you're going to have to slice it down section by section. And of course the dangerous part is when you get to a certain length up the trunk there, it starts to want to fall over the other way, as you can imagine, because it becomes, becomes more and more upright every time you take a slice out from an undercut. And but I am going to give it a cut at the base there and see if I can get it to fall between those trees. And you can see where it's hung up. I may even take out a couple of those maples and just see if I can let it fall. It's just a couple of trees holding it up. But it's going to be a mess. It'll be a whole afternoon's work, absolutely no doubt. But the driveway's clear, which is good. I wanted to get that done because, as I say, as you pack this stuff down, it just sticks to the ground, and then it is stuck there. And it's a real pain in the ass to get up once it gets like that, and not good at all.
Everywhere I go these days, well, I hear everybody say this old world is in a mess. Can't seem to find any happiness when there's people taking out, so few putting in. Feels like a mean old world, feels like it's sink or swim. Greed and corruption, they're nightly news. Working people, they're singing the blues. You can't trust a priest or a local cop. When's all this heartbreaking gonna stop? With this people taking out, so few putting in. Feels like a mean old world. Feels like it's sink or swim. Everywhere I go these days, well, I hear everybody say this old world is in a mess. Can't seem to find any happiness with it. People taking out, so few putting in. Feels like a mean old world. Feels like it's sink or swim. Sink or swim. Told me this might sound strange, but she thinks she'll change him and he thinks she'll never change. In this war called love, she's winning by degrees. Well, it's the only war where you sleep with the enemy. No use to argue, no use to fight. Better to be happy than to be right. In this war called love, she's winning by degrees. Well, it's the only war where you sleep with the enemy. Might be a question, might be a trap. There's no right answer, you can count on that. In this war called love, she's winning by degrees. Well, it's the only war where you sleep with the enemy. Told me this might sound strange, but she thinks she'll change him and he thinks she'll never change. In this war called love, she's winning by degrees. Well, it's the only war where you sleep with the enemy. Well, it's the only war where you sleep with the enemy. It's the only war where you sleep with the enemy.
And there you go, a few whisks through the rake and she's all cleared up. One of the nice things about being in the country is well, cleanup is a little easier than in the city. So you can just kind of throw it off to the side and it'll just go back into the ground. I may cut that back a little further in springtime, but right now the driveway is passable. So a little piece of advice I was given by an old timer was always take your cell phone when you're going cutting trees, and this is exactly why. Now you can see this tree was dead, was rotten in the centre, and that there, my friends, that is the beginnings of what they call a barber shop. When that piece here, where it is split, flips up in the air, and it can whack you in the head, it can knock a chainsaw out of the way. Well, as it was, the chainsaw got stuck, as you saw. But yeah, that's why you take your cell phone, because if you get pinned under the tree in the middle of nowhere like this, I could lie here for days and nobody would come up this driveway, you know, because we're so isolated, and I couldn't be seen from the road. So yeah, that is a piece of good advice. Always take your cell phone out in the bush. Anyway, I thought I got all these trees in the summertime, but I didn't notice this one, and but that's all cleaned up now, nice and safe. Our old chickens are not keen on this cold, especially not Smokey the rooster. He stays in here most of the day. He might venture out if the sun comes out and it warms up a little bit, but as you can see, yeah, I agree with you, Smokey. The heat lamp is on, and they tend to huddle in this corner, all of them. They'll get together and they'll just make a little ball of chickens and roosters right under that heat lamp. Anyway, I'm still getting 3 or 4 eggs a day, which is pretty good, because diminished light, they do slow down on their egg production a little bit when the light dies down. Okay, we're going to leave you alone to warm up in here. See ya. Oh yes, another thing I forgot to mention, that we finally did get this battery pack in. I was going to make a video of the installation, but you know, there was 3 of us here, and you know, it takes time to make a video. You got to stop and reposition the camera and all this kind of stuff. But here is the new battery pack. It is working wonderfully, and as I said, we discovered this solar charging controller was burnt out, so I replaced that, and I'm now getting, you know, 50% more energy into the batteries from the panels. This is the second charger. It's working just fine. So yes, very pleased with that. Very pleased with that. The system is now working well. You still have to use the generator because, of course, wintertime in Canada means lots of grey days. The other thing we got going on here too is, you can see my CB antenna there. We are now having regular Sunday check-ins on the CB in our little community, just to keep the communications open, and to yeah, find out when it's the best place to make a contact. It's not always easy, you know. If you do it during the daytime when there's a lot of people on the CB, wow, it can just wash you out. Some of these people got some really powerful transmitters, and it just sort of drowns out your signal. So we've just about got it down to about the early evening, using one of the lower sidebands, and it's pretty quiet. But one of the things that I never noticed before I had solar panels, you know, I'd see these solar panels on the side of the road and fields and so on and so forth, and it never really occurred to me. I thought this, you know, the snow just melted off, and these solar panels, every day I have to sweep these solar panels, because there's some kind of light dusting of snow or frost comes down, and of course, you know, if you've got snow on the solar panels, you don't have any sun. Now when it's hot and sunny, or when the sun comes out, yes, if they're cleaned off, it doesn't take, or even half an hour, that dark surface will warm up and everything will just slide right off. But it's basically a daily process. I have a long-handled broom that I use, and I just go backwards and forwards, keeping the panels clear. Yeah, the wood is slowly going down. I'm keeping this area up here because I am still packing the container with stuff. I'm just staging that downstairs now that the dog pen is out, and so I'll be packing up all things that aren't essential and that can be put away and stored until I'm ready to move. A lot of stuff, I sold a lot of stuff on Kijiji. I couldn't believe, wow. Just a lot of stuff that I was carrying around that I was never going to use again. And yeah, Kijiji turned out to be pretty good. Same with the pups. The bulk of the pups were sold on Kijiji. It's so beautiful, isn't it, when it's like this? This is Jazz's kind of weather, that big thick coat. Keeps her nice and warm. Anyway, that just about sums up just about every single day on this property. There's always something to do. And the tree, I hope you like the demonstration of how to bring down a hung up tree. But yeah, I'm busy every single day doing something, whether it's with the furnace, whether it's messing around with the solar panels, the chickens, the dog. There's always something to keep you entertained. And I actually don't mind. I love chainsaw work. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, there's something about doing the red-green thing with a chainsaw. That ding, 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 ding. Yep, I guess it's a guy kind of thing. Okay, well, that's about it. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. Take care now. See ya. Bye.